listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a successful motivational speaker and trusted life coach, Nancy knows how you can live the life you want regardless of the challenges you face. Although she's legally blind, Nancy's mission is to inspire others to overcome obstacles and live life full out. Call in at 800-333-0001 to ask Nancy for advice on topics such as relationships, finances, business, health, and more. Just call 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Welcome to the Living Full Out Show. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. And I know I'm here in Los Angeles and it is sunny and beautiful. And later on today, I'm going to go walking with a girlfriend and just kind of embrace this beautiful day. And part of what I really love about the weekend is that I can set my plan for the next week. Today, we're talking about goals on this show. And whether you are, working towards a career goal, a weight loss goal, a relationship goal, or just overall health, it's a great time to always check in with yourself and see, where are you with those goals? Are they realistic? Or are you kind of pie in the sky in what you're trying to achieve? Today, we're going to have a very inspirational guest coming up in our next segment, Jessica Cox. And boy, her story is not one that will just inspire you, but it'll make you want to achieve and be more. And I know for myself, going legally blind has been a bit tricky when it came to my goals. I've always wanted to do different things, like see different places around the world. But as you go blind, traveling becomes a little bit more difficult. But I had to find different ways to navigate going through both local, national airports, but international airports, dealing with the everyday activities on the computer. Just everyday goals had to be slightly adjusted with that visual impairment. So whatever limits you have within yourself, know that that's what they are. They're just a limitation. It's just a roadblock. It doesn't mean that you can't do and be what you want. Over the course of the show, I want you to think about, what would you like to achieve in this next week, by the end of the year, next year? But let's put together over the course of the show very realistic goals. I know for myself, I made a goal at the beginning of the year to learn guitar. I am slowly but surely learning that. And, even next week, I have a goal to lose a certain amount of weight, 2 pounds. That's my goal. Pick a realistic goal that you can go for. We're going to be going to the lines here shortly, so if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call. The number is 800-333-0001, 800-333-0001. One of the things about selecting a goal that to me is so important is the why. Why do you want that goal so bad? When I think about a goal to have my TV show, which we're in development on now, that was a goal that was very near and dear to my heart because I had been in TV earlier in my career and I learned a lot, but I knew that over the course of being the CEO and founder of Living Full Out and having spoken in front of thousands of people, that my gift was to share other people's stories, to be a voice for those that needed that outlet. And here we are today developing a talk show that is going to do just that. And that dream was not one that in a snap I could put together. It took years of creating. So don't worry if your goal is a big one. And don't be attached to how long it takes. As long as you are making steady progress, that's the main thing. Think about the resources that you may need to achieve that goal. Think of the team members, the people that you may need to enroll into your dream to help that come true. There's no way that one can get to the top of the mountain by themselves. You need assistance, you need tools, you need colleagues, you need associates, people to get you to where you want to go. Wherever you are in your life, if you're feeling as though you don't even have a goal, I don't even know what I want. I have a lot of clients who come to me just very complacent. They've lost track of their life. They don't know what they want anymore. Well, stick with us during this show because I guarantee you by the end of today, a goal will pop up for you. It may seem insignificant. It may seem larger than life. But somewhere in between, we will put together action steps to help that come true. We're going to go to the phone lines now. Welcome to the Living Full Out Show. Hi, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hi, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So tell us, what's going on today?
Well, thank you for taking the time to speak with me. I had a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been thinking about this, and I feel like I'm highly motivated to get important things done in my life, such as pertains to my job or my family. However, I feel like I'm easily distracted despite my desire to accomplish some of these things. Do you have any advice for me on how I can overcome the temptation of distraction and stay focused?
Well, everybody is probably nodding who's listening today because we all have distractions. But what would you say is the number one distraction?
I don't know. I guess sometimes just putting off the important things by, whether it's social media or just finding little things to do that are just easier than, just getting in and tackling the real task.
Okay. Well, one thing that will help with those distractions, because sometimes distractions might be the cell phone, the refrigerator, the TV, a person. But if your distractions are such as having so many different things to do and maybe not enough time to do it, you want to put that why. Why is that task so important? If you can give a goal, a measurable reason for why you should be doing it, like a result, an outcome, then you will do it. So for example, for social media, let's say you're doing it for business. If you don't do social media, then there will be hundreds, thousands of people that will not be able to take advantage of your service, your product, your talents. Then you become kind of like this secret businesswoman with that talent that no one knows about. So social media is sometimes a tricky thing because it can be a little bit of a time suck sometimes. I mean, it can really take away hours of your life and then you wonder if it even benefited. But I guarantee if you stay with it, if you stay with anything, whether it's losing weight, whether it's staying in a relationship through the hard times and the good times, anytime you stay with something, the results will be there. You just have to trust the process and most of all, trust yourself. But the biggest thing is understanding that why. So in your world, why would social media be a good thing to do?
Why would it be a good thing to do? Well, one, you're correct that I do use it for work. So sometimes it can just, when I'm seeking out new clients or trying to kind of find out the who's who at the companies that I'm targeting, you can just kind of get lost into looking and just spending too much time. So maybe just being more specific when I am, say, on LinkedIn as to who I'm trying to focus on and setting smaller goals to accomplish my bigger goal, I guess.
Absolutely. And the thing is sometimes because it's social media and that person's not standing right in front of you, you can't feel the emotion in their body of how bad they need your service, product, or talent. But if you could, wouldn't that make a difference? Like when you're in front of somebody face to face, through body language, you can tell how interested they are, how much they need you, how much you would impact their life. So sometimes with social media, you have to insert that emotion, that energy into what you do. You just have to think beyond it being social media and think about the people that you're actually connecting with. And make sure that your message is authentic and that it's powerful. But I do believe if you do that, and you take that same principle and you apply it to all the other areas in your life where you may be holding back, delayed, or overwhelmed, you'll be great.
Thank you. That is very helpful.
Absolutely. And do call in. Keep in touch with us. Let us know how it goes.
I will. Thank you very much.
All right. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. So she brings up a question that is just an everyday question we all have, right? We're being pulled in different directions. So when that happens, slow the car down. Really check in with yourself about the meaning behind your actions. Why is that result so important to you? We're going to go back to the phone lines. Welcome to the Living Full Out Show. I think we have another caller on the line. Welcome to the Living Full Out Show.
Hi.
Hi.
Andrew.
Hi, Andrew. So tell us what's going on.
So I think one of my biggest problems, I guess, I'm facing with the school year coming up are just they just have to do with grades and just doing well academically. I mean, I'm always trying to do well, but the thing is now that my parents are paying for college, I have this huge burden on my shoulders to perform, and they're paying for me to do well. And if I don't do well, obviously they wouldn't get mad at me, but personally I would feel like I was wasting their time and money, and it's something that's really stressful to deal with when you're sitting in class and thinking about it.
Well, I can appreciate that. I want to ask you a question. Have you ever given someone money, either a gift or a loan or a donation?
Yeah, I've given my friends gifts before.
Okay, and you give it. No, you give it with the idea and the hopes that it's going to make a difference, that they're going to take it and do good things with it, right?
Yeah, I've actually never thought about it through that perspective. Yeah, I have.
Okay, and so keep in mind that parents do that same thing. Your parents once were you. Okay,
Yeah.
and we've all given money. We've all invested in someone, something. And so take the pressure off of yourself about it being that you're maybe disappointing them or the disappointment of yourself. A university, college education, any education at all, is one that's lived. It's not always about the grades. You want good grades, so we're going to talk about that in a second, but it's about the experience. So don't worry about disappointing them. And then with regards to your grades, you just want to go out there and do the best you can, because if in life we got straight A's every day of our life, we made endless amounts of money, we never had disappointments, we would never have the ability to learn. We would never have those moments where we felt like we failed to learn from, right?
Yeah, no, that completely makes sense. I've never really thought of it through that perspective. It's different seeing it as them as giving me this opportunity, whereas I see it as them putting this burden on me. But now that makes complete sense.
Mm-hmm. So really, it's just a well, they say fear is false evidence appearing real. And it's similar to that because there's this unknown pressure that does not exist. So just go out there, do the best you can in your grades, and just know that we and your parents believe in you.
All right. Well, I really appreciate it, Nancy. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Have a great day. And we will be coming right back with our very special guest, Jessica Cox.
Isn't this dinner party wonderful? Jeanette and Bill did so much planning, and the house looks great.
Well, it was almost canceled. Did you hear that Bill was really sick with the flu 2 weeks ago?
No, I had no idea. I've been so busy at work. But my coworker's toddler was in the hospital with flu, too. Is Bill okay?
It was pretty serious and aggravated his asthma. Bill got sick quickly with a high fever. Fortunately, Jeanette got him to the doctor right away. The doctor said it was flu and prescribed a medication that helped him get back on his feet.
I didn't know flu was so serious until I heard Bill say he felt like he'd been hit by a truck. He missed a big meeting at work.
Well, thank goodness Jeanette had gotten her flu shot. Because, she's expecting.
What? Oh, man.
I guess that was another thing you guys didn't know either.
A message from the Department of Health and Human Services.
Hi. I can't come to the phone right now because I'm abusing my children. Not just verbally, but physically. I'll get back to you.
If only child abuse was this easy to recognize. If you even suspect abuse, call Child Help at 1-800-4A-CHILD or visit childhelp.org. We've helped millions of people help millions of children. All calls are anonymous and confidential, so call 1-800-4A-CHILD or visit childhelp.org. Child Help. Trust your instincts. Brought to you by Child Help and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Today, you hit the snooze bar. You checked your email. You checked your fantasy football team. You rejected an insulting trade offer. You ate your lunch. You did all the things that one normally does the day before a 175-mile-per-hour hurricane blows through your city, leaving it in a state of ruin. You never know when the day before is the day before. Prepare for tomorrow at ready.gov/today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. A professional motivational speaker, Nancy can help you overcome obstacles and start living full out. Call in with questions live at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Welcome back to the Living Full Out Show. I hope everyone's having a very living full out, exciting day and doing great things. Today we're talking about achieving goals in our lives. They might be small ones, big ones, everywhere in between, but to live full out is about shooting for the stars. It is about holding your dreams in your hands and doing everything you can to make those come true. So we want to help you through that process today, to give you that motivation, that inspiration to take those next steps in achieving your goals. In our last segment, we had two great callers that had a lot of really important nuggets of information that we were able to exchange and talk about. So thank you for them for calling in. And if you have questions, we'll be taking more callers at the end of the show. That number again is 800-333-0001, 800-333-0001. Now, I promised you in our last segment that we had a very special guest, and yes, we do. Her name is Jessica Cox. Now, she was born with no arms. Now, I'm legally blind, and I can tell you that that brings its own set of challenges, and we all have our own blocks and limitations. But imagine being born with no arms. How would you navigate through life with the things we do every day with our hands and our arms? So Jessica has not only dealt with the everyday challenges, but she has gone on to achieve goals that one could only dream of with arms, without arms, multiple arms. I mean, she is amazing. So Jessica, welcome to the Living Full Out Show.
Well, thank you again for having me.
Oh man, I just get so excited whenever I talk to you. I know you were on our talk show not too long ago, but you are just a shining light in this world for so many reasons. And I'm so excited to share your story with our Living Full Out community. Can you do us a favor? Because again, I can't imagine what it was like even growing up with no arms. Now, I know you and I talked a bit about some of the, moments as a child that you wished you could have done things that you weren't able to do, but can you share with us a little bit about your condition and then how it was for you growing up?
Yes, I was born this way, and it wasn't a genetic condition. It was just actually one of these fluke things that happens, and my parents had no idea it was going to happen. My mom had very normal sonograms while she was pregnant with me. And so on the day of my birth, it was a shock to not only my parents, but the entire operating room staff, because she had a cesarean section. And that wasn't out of the ordinary. She had a cesarean section for my brother as well. But the staff had no idea that I was going to come out in the way I did. So it did silence everyone in the room when I came out, missing what most babies are born with, arms. And it was very hard for my parents. They were devastated. My mom didn't know what kind of future was in store for someone without arms. And my dad, he was the rock. He held my mom's hand and said it was going to be okay. But she still had a very difficult time at the beginning.
And they decided early on that they were not going to give me any special treatment. They were going to treat me like my older brother Jason and later my younger sister Jackie. They expected me to do everything and be independent, and went through childhood learning how to feed myself, take care of my own personal needs, and started to play with toys with my toes and feet. My feet essentially became my hands. But naturally, being different was difficult growing up because you get bullied or made fun of when you're different. And that was what was most difficult, is when people would stare or children would ask questions, which were naturally out of curiosity. But I think my parents helped me develop the confidence to get through those difficult times. And through their support and a wonderful community and just a wonderful faith, I got through those difficult years of being different, and those physical things were adaptable. I was able to adapt to doing them with my feet.
Well, I still think it's really amazing. I mean, I wouldn't do childhood over again. It was good the first time around, but yeah, kids can be tough, you know, but beyond that, there's just our own personal desires and wants as a child to, I want to go on that, I want to do that. And for you, that was the slide, huh?
Yes, I was on the playground and would be held back from climbing up the slide because the playground monitors and the teachers were afraid that I would fall back since I didn't have the hands to grab a hold of the steps on the ladder. But I had a way to figure it out. I figured it out by using my chin and shoulder, but they didn't trust me enough. So I was kept back from climbing up like the other children, and that really was frustrating for me, not understanding why I was being held back from wanting to do something all the other kids could do.
Now, being held back, did that make you want to play small at that time in your life, or did that just turn up the fire in your body even more to want to do more?
It definitely does. It definitely gives me all the more reason to go out there. And when I could, as an adult, when people couldn't hold me back, it built up that desire and passion to do so much.
Well, and the interesting thing is, Jessica, is I saw a couple of videos on you, and everybody check out Jessica Cox online because it's fascinating. I mean, I'm legally blind, but I could have sworn that were you surfing in one of your videos?
Yes, I learned how to surf on my first trip out to Hawaii.
Okay, because I tried surfing one time, and I couldn't get up, and I mean, that's amazing. And then on top of that, you fly planes today, which we're going to get to here in a second, because you know that took a lot of drive, a lot of tenacity, a lot of struggle to get to that point to be able to fly planes. But when you were transitioning through life and younger years to adolescence and all of that, you found your own way and you adapted and you were like any other student and child. But what was it in you that decided, I want to do something so wild like fly a plane?
I have always been an adventurous person, and I was always the kid who did things, and my mom would always say, be careful, Jessica, you're going to get hurt, but I wanted to do it anyway, and that was just a part of my personality, I think, a very adventurous, a risk-taker, and when it came to flying an airplane, it was my greatest fear to be up in an airplane, and the thought of being behind the controls was even more terrifying, but I went up and I wanted to do this to get over my fear, and I'm just the type of person that doesn't let any opportunity pass me by without at least trying.
But walk us through that. How do you do that? How do you fly a plane with no arms?
Well, the task of holding on the controls and dialing the knobs and keeping the airplane flying safe, I do not use any modifications. It's just my feet on the controls, like most other pilots would have their hands on the controls. The airplane I fly is a more simplified version of flying because of its design, but it's an air-coupe airplane. It's a 75-year-old airplane. And because of its simple design, it does make it easier that I fly with just 2 limbs as opposed to 4, which some people are familiar with a Cessna or more traditional airplanes that require 4 limbs to fly it. But for me, the air coupe worked out because it only requires 2 limbs to fly. And those 2 limbs for me are my feet.
Well, thank goodness for the air coupe. Let's all give a round of applause for that, because it's so wonderful to know that aircraft was available to you to be able to live that dream, to do that. I'm just curious, because Living Full Out is about expressing those moments of joy. When you were up in the air for that first time, or maybe even more so when you landed, what was that feeling like?
The first solo flight, that's what they call it when your instructor allows you to take over the airplane for the first time by yourself. That was the most incredible experience, because I wanted so much to get to that level of expertise and the confidence that my instructor would have in me. And finally the day came when he said, you can fly, if you can give me 5 good landings in a row with him in the airplane, he would then let me take over the airplane. And I was a little in disbelief that day, but I gave him those 5 good landings he asked for. It was a very smooth day, smooth air. And then he said, go ahead, take over the airplane, as long as you can hear me on the radio. And I tested out the radio. I could hear him just fine. And I went through the same motions that he taught me hour after hour in that airplane, and safely flew for the first time all by myself, only my feet on the controls. No modifications, just me in this little air coupe. And it was incredible to know that I did that on my own. It was the ultimate form of independence and empowerment and freedom, I think, because when I landed, I just remember having this huge smile on my face, and it stayed on my face the entire day. And I just couldn't believe that I was piloting command of this airplane all by myself.
Like, just hearing that story honestly makes me want to cry. I have to imagine you cried. I would cry. I would cry for you. I'd be so happy.
Yes, tears of joy. I do recall being so happy about that. And the first thing I did is I called up my parents. It was Mother's Day, and I called up my mom to wish her Happy Mother's Day and tell her the great news that I soloed in an airplane by myself. And my parents were both very proud.
Well, just before we go to commercial break, I'm just curious, because there was an amount of technical difficulty and all that in achieving that dream. If somebody has a dream that seems outside the box, outside the limits, what advice would you give them?
Well, I definitely say don't give up. It's easy to give up. I mean, sometimes it'll take months, sometimes it'll take years. For me, it took years to be able to solo an airplane. And it's that moment right when you're ready to give up, you just have to push through it. And it's amazing how when you push through that very moment where you feel like giving up, how things start to work in a way that make it a reality. But sometimes you just have to get through that wall.
Well, you are a perfect demonstration of what it means to live full out. And we'll be coming right back with more of Jessica Cox after this next break, so stay tuned.
Ahoy there, matey. How's the fishing this morning?
Shh! You'll scare the fish.
Oh, nonsense. Fishies love the safety pirate. Now tell me, I see you're wearing your life jacket, and that's mighty smart of you. But have you taken a boating safety course?
I have. Now, could you please leave?
So you know to stay alert by not mixing alcohol and boating, don't you?
I do.
But I bet you didn't know it's dangerous to speed on the water. Now, did you, Turbo?
Actually, I knew that.
Well, smarty pants. You seem to know it all, don't you?
Yep. Maybe even more than a safety pirate.
Watch your mouth, sailor!
When you're out on the water this year, make sure you're being safe. Learn the boating rules and watch out for other boaters.
And remember to boat smart. Boat safe.
A message from the National Safe Boating Council.
I want to change some things. I want the the moms where I live to have childcare they can trust.
I want to make sure my little brother and his friends have a safe place to play.
I want to help more kids graduate from high school.
Help more hardworking families learn how to budget and save.
I want more of my neighbors to have access to health care.
Want to make a difference? There are so many ways you can. Help create opportunities for everyone in your community.
I want to change what I see around here.
United Way is creating real, lasting change where you live by focusing on the building blocks of a better life: education, income, and health.
I mean, I just want to see more smiles on my sidewalks.
Reach out a hand to one and influence the condition of all. Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United. For more, visit United Way at liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a trusted life coach, Nancy will help you overcome setbacks and embrace all life has to offer. Call in with questions live at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Living Full Out Show. Today we are talking about achieving goals, and we're right now engaged in a really inspiring conversation with Jessica Cox. She was born with no arms, but that did not hold her back from enjoying all the fruits of life, all the things that one would want to experience. She has, and then beyond that, she's done amazing things like flying planes. And so welcome back, Jessica Cox.
Thank you. It's great to be back.
Hi. Yeah. Now, you know, I know that you go all around the country and you do public speaking and you've written books and all of that, and we'll talk more about the book later. But you and I both know, because I do speaking as well, that, you know, sometimes people just get stuck in life. You know, today we're talking about goals on this show, and obviously you had your goal to fly a plane, and you had countless steps of training to do that, and you eventually did. But people get stuck, and it isn't flying a plane that they're trying to do. It might just be trying to make enough money to pay their rent. You know, what advice do you have for our listeners in the way in which you strategize or set a plan to achieve a goal?
One of the things I've learned how to do is be very creative and innovative when it comes to something that seems difficult or to some impossible. And it's easy to go about doing something the way everyone else does it, but it's important to sit back and, for me, realize this can be done through creativity, through innovation, in a complete different manner than everyone else, but yet I'm still accomplishing the same goal. So it's important to be very creative about it, go about accomplishing whatever goal it is that you set in front of yourselves, and just attack it from different angles.
Jessica, I swear you must be my sister in the motivational world, because I say something very similar in terms of I usually like to go the road less traveled. It may be a little bumpy, but there's all those little diamonds along the way, different things that we learn. You know, it's interesting because for me, when I think about the accomplishments in my life, you know, I could be excited about those and rave and just go on and on and on, but then I think a lot about the hard times, the times that I almost wanted to give up. You know, what was a dark time for you?
Well, since we talked about the flying experience, I remember being 2 years into flight training and 2 airplanes, 2 different flight instructors, and traveling from 2 different states later. I still hadn't been at the point where I wanted to be as a student pilot. I didn't have my solo flight. I had to stop training completely and went a solid year without any kind of training. And I felt as though I was very frustrated and angry, like I was on the playground during childhood when people would keep me from climbing up the slide. And at that time, though, I just felt as though maybe everyone had given up on me or the possibility of me becoming a pilot. But there was this moment where I thought, you know what, I'm going to make this happen. I'm not going to give up. And I pulled up a picture of what it is that I wanted to accomplish. and I'd spend a few minutes every morning envisioning accomplishing that goal and what it would feel like, what it would be like. And through that vision and making it real, it made it a lot easier.
I love that. I love that. And everybody listening today, visualizing your dreams, visualizing that outcome is so important. I'm so glad you brought that up, Jessica, because if we don't have a vision of what we want our life to look like or what we want our goal to look like, then sometimes it's hard to know what we're striving for. And what do you think it was? I guess what I want to ask you is, what do you think it was inside yourself that kept you going during those, like that year that you had to take off and so forth? What kept you going?
I can recall sitting and being very frustrated and angry about it and remembering what it felt like to be grounded and prevented from climbing up the slider or of flying. And it was just that extra push of having that happen in the past and knowing that I want to get past it that helped me. And I think also when I was younger, I turned doubters into believers. When they challenge me and say, oh, you can't do that, you don't have arms, it would give me all the more reason to do it. And so I learned since early on how to really dig deep and use the doubt transformed into more energy and more reason to accomplish.
I love that. I love that. And, you know, in life, we are going to have triggers. We are going to have those insecurities that will get pushed from time to time, but we do have the ability to override that. And you did just that. Now, in our conversation I had with you recently, I asked you, what's next for Jessica Cox? And what you told me was very surprising to me, and I want to hear you share with our audience a little bit about what you're looking to do next.
I am actually working on doing a flight further to go probably cross-country and just be able to fly places that I have not had the opportunity to fly to. I've pretty much been limited to the state of Arizona, but I'm hoping to reach other states and even more importantly, stop in little places along the way and do motivational talks, inspire other people.
I love that. I love that. And then even outside of flying planes, you're even considering other things like cars.
Yes. I went to my first high-performance driving meetup, and it was very interesting to see that this would be a new challenge for me in many ways. I mean, I do drive a car, and it's just a regular car. It doesn't have any special modifications. But when it comes to doing high-performance driving, it will require more creativity and maybe a couple modifications to make it safer for me to be able to maneuver on higher speeds around cones and different things to be a high-performance driver. So that's something here in the near future.
Now, how do you drive a normal car? How does that work?
It's an automatic. I use my right foot up on the steering wheel, and my left foot alternates between the gas and brake.
Gotcha. And so you would just apply those same techniques to the high performance driving, but obviously it'd be a much faster reaction that you'd have to have.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that is really exciting. And boy, my goals seem really insignificant when I think about your high performance racing. but I'm really excited for you. That's going to be great. Now, you recently came out with a book, which I love, and I want you to tell us just briefly about the book. But what I applaud about Jessica writing her book, and I want everyone to listen today about this, is because we all have a story to be shared. You know, I wanted Jessica to come on today's show because she is so inspirational, and yes, she has gone on to write a book, but everybody listening today, if you've overcome cancer, if you have a disability, if you've gone through financial stress but have come out on the other end, you have a message to share. You have a voice within you. And that's really what life is about. That's what Living Full Out's about. But Jessica, share with us about your book.
I picked the title of my book to be Disarm Your Limits because everyone has their own form of challenges. I happen to have mine in the form of not having arms and dealing with the physical and emotional challenges related to that and being different. But everyone has something, and in my book I talk about what helps me get through my own challenges, and more importantly, how those same principles can help others. It's a very reflective book. It's very motivational. It's not just the story of my life and my challenges. It's more about motivation for other people and their own struggles in life.
I love that, because struggles are going to come. It's just a part of life. You know, I'm just curious, because to me, you're like a superwoman. You're like a superhero. But this might seem like an off question, but I'm curious what your answer would be. If you had a superpower, what would it be?
I think it would be flying. It would relate very well to this superpower of being a pilot already as it is.
See, you are a superpower. You are a superwoman. You know, and
I've always,
what were you going to say?
I was just saying I've always experienced just being free and up there in the sky.
And that is a great feeling. You know, again, going back to the fact that, you know, you are so inspirational. For our callers that are listening today, who do have a physical challenge, for everybody who doesn't, we're all going to apply these same principles. But for somebody who does have a physical limitation, and they feel as though maybe they can't achieve what someone could with full arms, full legs, full capacity, what do you say to them in terms of keeping them going?
I say the first step is acceptance and embracing our challenge, our obstacle, our physical limitation, or whatever it may be. And it's just, first of all, accepting it and coming to terms with it. And once we do that, we can move forward in positivity with optimism and overcoming the challenges that come with it.
And in terms of overcoming those challenges, and in your own life, where are you today in terms of your accomplishments, how you've seen yourself evolve? What are you most proud of?
I'm most proud of that journey to self-acceptance and confidence that was more difficult than even flying an airplane with my feet. And that came through faith. It came through a journey and just day by day working through it on how I need to be comfortable in my own skin, and then other people around me will be comfortable as well. And if they aren't comfortable, it's not my problem. My job is to be the best and most confident me that I can be. And that's what I was am very proud of, is getting through that difficult time as a child, asking the question, why am I different, to now being truly blessed and feeling as though my difference and my challenges are true gifts. And that whole journey is what I'm most proud of.
Well, and we are proud of you, Jessica, as well. I know you have a wonderful, supportive husband, family, and so many great things are ahead for you. Thank you so much for being on our show today, and I look forward to staying connected.
Yes, please do. Thank you.
Have a great day, Jessica. And
bye.
Bye. And we'll be coming right back with your questions. Again, that number's 800-333-0001. This is the Living Full Out Show, and we'll be right back.
Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
You remember that ball game we went to a couple years ago?
Sure.
And how you didn't have enough cash for 2 hot dogs, so you walked with me on your shoulders until we found an ATM? And then when we got back to our seats, we never saw the hot dog guy again.
Well, I don't remember all that.
Yeah, that was an awesome game.
You never know which moments will be the ones they'll remember forever, so take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 1-877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Medical mistakes claim tens of thousands of lives every year. The healthcare community is working on it, but you can help. When you communicate with your doctor, when you ask more questions, you reduce your risk of suffering a medical mistake. Doctors can't answer if you don't ask. Help reduce your risk. Questions are the answer. Learn the 10 questions you must ask. Visit www.ahrq.gov. This message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the Agency for Healthcare Research and Quality, and the Ad Council.
I'm getting a catcher's mitt.
I'm getting ice skates. I'm getting a devastating flood.
Adults are generous. We're even giving kids global warming, but we can still reduce greenhouse gas pollution. Go to fightglobalwarming.com. Brought to you by Environmental Defense, the Robertson Foundation, and the Ad Council.
There are many sounds in your daily life. Ones that make you smile. Ones that help you relax. And there are some sounds that can help save lives. Wireless emergency alerts, now on many mobile devices, use a unique sound and vibration to bring you critical information about emergencies in your area. With updates from local sources you know and trust, you can be in the know wherever you are. Learn more at ready.gov/alerts. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is President Barack Obama. In the story of America, the greatest chapters are moments of challenge, when we see people serving their country and one another. Volunteers who step forward into hospital corridors and church basements, along levees and fire lines. And the next chapter is yours to help write. Sign up to volunteer at usaservice.org. That's usaservice.org. Let's renew America together.
A message from Renew America Together, brought to you by the Ad Council.
Living Full Out is about living one's purpose and really taking that purpose and having goals that will help you to achieve and be proud of all that you accomplish in life. When thinking about your goals, remember that whether they're small or really, really large, they're all attainable. You just have to quantify the why. Why is achieving that goal so important? And then consider the steps that are required to achieve that goal. Here's to you, Live Full Out.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a certified life coach, Nancy can help you to overcome challenges and start living full out. Call in with questions live at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Welcome back to the Living Full Out show. So we have had such an exciting show. Thank you again, Jessica Cox, for being a part of the show. And for everybody listening today, we still have this last segment here for you to call in and get your questions answered at 800-333-0001. You know, one of the things I love most about my time with all of you is that from this moment going forward, anything's possible. Whether you gained a little bit of inspiration, just a little bit, from Jessica Cox's story, or maybe one of our previous callers, or maybe you're doing something today that will motivate you. Maybe it's cleaning, maybe it's taking a walk, maybe it's seeing a friend. Whatever that is, just knowing that you have the ability to make change in your life. You have the ability to control achieving a goal or not. And think about that. We really do have that ability. Jessica had the ability to fly. She had to find the right plane to do it. She had to go through lots of training to do it, but it was possible. And that's with no arms. You know, I was able to achieve having my TV show and radio show and all that, even with all the disappointments and changes in my life with my vision and everything in between, but it happened. And so whatever it is that you're looking to achieve in your life, hold on to that dream, nurture it. Let everybody in your world know about it so they can support you. It's really important. We're going to go back to the lines now. Welcome to the Living Full Out show.
Hi.
Hi. Welcome. Tell us, how's your day? What's going on?
My day's going good. My question is, I recently graduated from college and I'm about to apply for graduate school. But I just want to start working on my career goals. Should I focus on finishing school or should I start working on both?
It's a good question. Now, if we had more than 24 hours in a day, we could definitely do both, right? Mm-hmm. But it is possible. Let me ask you a question. With school, how many more years of school do you have left?
I just graduated the spring semester. So I was thinking about taking a semester off, which I'm doing right now, and then I'm going to start applying to graduate school.
Okay.
So I just want to know if I should start working on both, so for next semester, or should I just focus on finishing school and stop one of my jobs?
Well, consider this. You know yourself best. So have you ever been at this same crossroad in life where you've had two goals that you wanted to do at the same time?
I did, but I did have to stop one.
Okay.
Focus on it.
Right. So that's very important knowledge. Our past history is important to look back on, because sometimes our history shows us just how capable we are to do multiple things, or maybe we need that extra time to nurture on one. So if in the past you found that when faced with two goals, you had to stop one so that you could really give all your efforts to the other, then that might be a good thing to do again here, because we want you to thrive. We want you to not only achieve your goal, but achieve it well, so that you feel, like you did your best. And so it might make most sense to just finish school, because there's a certain educational momentum that one has. You just graduated, and that comes with so much excitement and, whew, I'm all done, right? You're just happy and good to go. And it's fine to take a semester off. However, what I have found is for those who take too much time off, you learn certain skills that you need, certain disciplines that you need in school. When you're in school, you need the discipline of long hours of studying, of working, within academic teams, going to sessions with your teachers, and just a different layer of scheduling and balancing in one's life. Whereas going after a career, that's going to take a different output. That's going to take getting your resume out there and training and really being there, because the last thing any employer wants to see on one's resume is that you are somewhere for 1 month, 2 months, and then you are gone. Employers want to see that you stick, that you actually go the distance. So I think you stay with school, finish it out, check that box, feel really good about it, and then go after your career. How does that sound?
That sounds really good. Thank you for the help.
Absolutely. And call us back. Let us know how it goes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye. You too. Bye.
Bye. So that was a great caller, because, again, when we're at this crossroad in life, whether you're trying a new diet and it's not succeeding, or whether you're facing a relationship that maybe isn't working, we've always been at that same place before. And it's important that whenever you have a goal or you have something that you've been doing, let's say it's a career, let's say it's a relationship, whatever that may be, and let's say it's coming to an end, never look at it like it's a finale, that it's a goodbye. Look at it like it's the next chapter. It's really important with goals to understand that goals can morph, goals can evolve, they can change. The goals we have as kids aren't the same goals we have as adults. And there's a reason. It's because we mature, we grow up, we identify things that we want. It's not that uncommon that in relationships, for example, people will have an initial goal of just companionship and wanting to have fun, but then down the line it might be marriage, it might be kids. Same with career goals. Early on in life, it's okay to experiment with different jobs. You're just trying to find your way and finding what makes your heart sing. But then later on, you don't want to jump around as much because you want to save for retirement. So think about your past history and what you learned from various goals that you succeeded at, and even ones that you failed at. I know when I failed in life at something, and I have, it comes with frustration. It comes with anger, like Jessica was saying, how she was frustrated and angry. But at the same time, once you can get past that, there's beauty in knowing that just because you failed doesn't mean you can't try again and again and again. But just like with our inspirational guest, Jessica, she tried different planes. She had to eventually find the right plane that worked for her. Just like in relationships, you will eventually have to find the right relationship for that person that you can run with. Same goes for jobs and everything else in between. So if you don't allow yourself the freedom to fail, the freedom to continually try, then you won't allow yourself that opportunity to find that right fit. You know, having a goal is exciting. It means that every day we have something to wake up for. So for those of you who are in a place of feeling stuck, like you don't know what you want to do, what you want to be, where you want to go, you don't even know what you want to eat for lunch or breakfast or dinner, that's okay. What you want to consider, if you're really stuck and you just feel lost, just feel inside your heart, what would bring you the most joy? And start there. Don't think about money. Don't think about marriage. Don't think about all the big goals down the line. Just start with what would bring you the most happiness and the most joy. Take that step. Accomplish one goal that would allow you to feel that sensation of pride, to feel that sensation of accomplishment. And then take another step. And as you take those steps forward, up the ante each time. Let that goal, let that dream grow bigger and bigger and bigger. You know, we come into this life in a very lucky way. Out of all the children that might not make it in life, out of all the children that are never born, you were born. And you were born with a purpose. That purpose is meant to be discovered. We got to keep turning the pages of life to see how the story ends. But if you don't turn the page, if you don't step forward, if you don't try, then you're stuck. Then you won't know the end of the story. Jessica was faced with many challenges with no arms, but she kept turning the page. And in her most recent chapters to come, she's driving high performance race cars. Who knows? She's flying across the country. If she had stopped turning the page, none of those things would happen. Motivation is something that comes from within. You can tap into a show like this. You can listen to an audio book or read a book or go to a support group, but it always is going to come from within. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that you were born for a reason, that you have the ability to live your purpose. You have to ride that wave. And sometimes the waters are going to be flat. Sometimes the waves will be really, really small, almost no wave. But you have the ability to jump up and down in that water. Make your own waves. When people aren't listening, make them listen. Jessica made believers out of the people around her. Let the people around you believe in your goals and dreams. And so I want you to take today's show and apply it to your life. Know that you're worth it. Know that there's a lot of great things to come. You just have to get around the bend. Coming up in future episodes, we're going to have many, many inspirational guests. People who have overcome tragedies. They've been burned. They've been beat. They've been kidnapped. People who have disabilities. They're blind, no arms. They're short. You name it. Anything. Anything may come up as a reason for us to give up. But those are just obstacles, right? They're just facts of life. It doesn't mean that you can't be anyone that you want. So here's to you looking forward into this next week. Set a goal that is an achievable goal. Set one thing that you can actually do this week and achieve. And then put together over the weekend an action plan for how you're going to achieve that goal. Maybe it's something you can do all on your own. Maybe you need to enroll support of others. Either way, put it down on paper. Like Jessica Cox said, visualize it. Maybe put together a picture, find something out of a magazine or a picture of something from your past that would remind you of why that goal is so important. Put that front and center on your desk, on your wall, in your car, wherever you need to. But as you go throughout the week and you look at this picture and you check off your list of things that your action plans, things that you are going to do to achieve your goal, you're going to see that you're getting closer to it. Life is great. Life is really great. And I believe that your greatness is still to come. Here's to you living life full out, but not for others, but for yourself. Believe in yourself, stay true to your goals and purpose, and we'll be touching base with you again next week. I believe in you. Have a great day.